come before a grand jury to testify, you don't have to answer their questions, okay? The third point, and that relates to having the attorney present, is, what was the third point? Okay, never mind that. But the search warrant, if they do have a warrant, make sure that you read the warrant, make sure that you understand exactly what it tells them they can look at and what they cannot look at, okay? Oh, and then going back to my third point, we've actually seen this a lot, where we get calls from people who've been approached by the FBI, and they say, well, I want to have an attorney present. So we call the FBI for them, and we say, well, our client wants an attorney present. He wants to talk to you, but he's going to have an attorney present. When do you want to meet? And then the FBI will not want to meet with us anymore because they don't want to bother talking to you when you have an attorney there. And so a lot of times we see that happen. In fact, it probably happens more often than the FBI agent actually going through with the meeting with the attorney there. I think they see it as a waste of their time. So keep those things in mind. Now getting into the reasons for this, and this goes to radicalism, which is why you guys, why we were invited to talk today. The government, the U.S. government, is very interested in this issue of homegrown terrorism or radicalism. And we think that, or we've observed that a lot of times what they see as you professing your religion, or you expressing your religion by growing your beard, by wearing a kufi, by wearing hijab, they see that as signs of radicalism. And you have the right in this country, you have a First Amendment right to freely express your religion, to wear the clothes that you believe your religion dictates that you wear, to pray as many times a day as you believe your religion dictates that you pray, to go to mosque every Friday. These are your rights under the Constitution, okay? But you can't take away from the perception that law enforcement may have that these are signs somehow of radicalism. And the less Muslim you act, the less of a threat you are. The more Muslim you act, the more of a threat you are. That's how they're seeing it. That's why it's so fundamentally important that you understand your rights under the Constitution and that you assert them when the time comes. When you're
At this point, we'll start resume the video on travel, and then we'll have half hour more for question and answer.
I really hope this doesn't take as long as it did last time. I'm telling you, it's your passport photo.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Mr. Cotton, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Would you follow me, please? Do you have any electronic devices in that bag? Yeah. Pull it out, please. So, you're an engineer? Yeah, I work at Cisco. Looks like you've been traveling for some time now. What countries did you visit and what was the nature of your trips? My wife and I went to Pakistan. Mm-hmm. What'd you visit when you were there? Well, my parents are in Karachi and my wife's family is in Lahore. Mm-hmm. Who else did you see when you were there? Tons of relatives and family, some friends. Are you carrying any vegetables or fruits or any other prohibited items into the country, Mr. Khan? No. In your hometown of Houston, do you attend a mosque? No, I don't.
Did you donate any monies to any overseas charities?
Yeah, for the tsunami in 2004, and there's a women's organization in Pakistan that we donate to, and also there's a charity in Bosnia.
Mr. Khan, I'm going to need to see your cell phone SIM card. I also need the password to your laptop. And if you would, please, put your password right here.
What? What? Do I have to?
Mr. Khan, you're at the board and we have the right to inspect your property. Password, please.
I don't see what personal files have to do with any of this.
Mr. Khan, we also have the right to confiscate your property. Password, cell phone, and SIM card, please.
It's ridiculous.
I'll be back in a moment. Thanks.
Excuse me. How much longer is this going to take?
Yeah, I can't say. It's taken a while to download those files.
We've been here for 3 hours already.
You know what, my friend? I've been there. Customs and Border Protection agents do have a right to search your bags, ask you questions to verify your identity, and to ensure you're not bringing prohibited items into the United States. But what happens when the search and questioning go beyond the scope, and you're being asked detailed information about loved ones overseas or about your religious or political views? What can you do? We know it's impractical to ask for a lawyer at the airport, so here's what you should remember the next time you travel overseas. Number one, be prepared, especially if you've been questioned in the past. Pack knowing that anything you have with you could be searched and even seized, including digital cameras, cell phones, laptops, and address books. Back up your files before you leave. Make sure your family or friends have your exact arrival information. If you're a non-citizen, keep in mind that you could be denied entry, so consider talking to an immigration attorney before you leave. Number two, ask why you're being selected for additional questioning or searches. Racial or religious profiling is improper, but agents do question people traveling from high security risk countries. If you feel you're being treated unfairly, stay cool and ask to speak with a supervisor, firmly but politely. Number three, if agents ask about your religious practice or political views, calmly state that you don't think these are appropriate questions. Ask for a supervisor and repeat that you're willing to answer questions about your identity and whereabouts, but that religious and political beliefs are protected under the First Amendment of our Constitution. Finally,